Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex, the creator of DOS, and I'm here with my coworker, Melinda, who also works on the channel.
Oh my God, we're coworkers?
Say hello, Melinda.
Hi. Hello.
We're collaborators.
Yeah.
We're collaborators.
Yeah, I like that better.
I guess since we don't get paid very much, it's probably not accurate to call us coworkers.
Co-conspirators some days, but...
Co-conspirators is good.
Yeah,
I like that.
Mm-hmm, me too.
All right, Melinda, we're coming together for this first kind of like OC DOS event because something big has happened.
Kind of huge, really.
Kind of a big deal, yeah. At Gen Con, they have just released the alpha slice of V6. And it is a big change.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm excited for this change. I like the things that I'm seeing, which I don't know. I think it depends on which form of social media you're looking at. People are either very, very excited or they are not at all. It depends on where you're looking.
Yeah. That is very true. I mean, they probably should start a suicide watch on the Facebook vampire group. I mean, the reaction there.
Yeah. It's going to be okay, everybody. It's going to be fine.
It is going to be okay.
Yeah.
It is. They've done this 6 times by definition, and we're all still here. It's fine.
Right.
It's fine.
We all still get to be spooky and pretend to be vampires. It's going to be okay.
Now, we should probably get into some of the most dramatic changes.
I like the drama.
I think, I totally agree with you. I think that the most controversial stuff is going to be the lore. Because there's been a dramatic shift from V5 to V6 regarding a lot of changes that were kind of pushed forward by V5.
Right, yeah. I came into Vampire with V5. So until I got involved with the LARP, Alex, I didn't know any better. You know, when it came to V5 and the things
you were innocent.
I was blind to the truth of what had happened with all of the lore.
Babe in the woods.
I was, and now I'm just like everybody else. I'm a jaded princess, so I'm here.
Perfect. Well, I recognize that in you, the jaded princess part.
Oh, thanks.
And I think that what V5 brought was a serious jump in the meta-narrative of the game. So you have V20. V20 was just kind of like a coalescing and slight move forward of the lore we'd had for 20 years.
Okay.
V5 said, okay, well, no, now dramatic things have changed. The La Sombra have partially left the Sabbat. Sabbat is mostly left the streets and is now in the Middle East or South America or Ukraine. The Elders are leaving. The Tremere have been fragmented. I know that one is a big deal for you.
Yeah, it's huge deal.
The shattering of the pyramid.
Yeah.
Melinda is a Tremere player, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, so feel free to hold that against her or...
Please do. I honestly...
in her favor.
Alex, I'm not sure how I'm going to play anything else in any of the other games. It's such a cool clan. Okay, I don't want to go on a tangent, but it is a cool clan to explore, and I will die on that hill.
As the voice for both La Sombra and Ventrue, she doesn't mean it. She is just saying that right now.
Lies.
For shock value, yeah. Live radio shock value.
Right.
All right, so we had these big changes with V5. When it comes to the lore, it looks like V6 is retconning a lot of that. I mean, it isn't exactly V20 versus Requiem, but it's starting to look like it's 75% of V20 versus Requiem.
Yeah, after going through the LARP experience and having to deal with the beckoning of elders and having that be, you know, such an impactful part of what really happened at game. I mean, we had 4 elders, I think, that ended up being beckoned. Was it 4?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, it was 3.
Was it 3?
One of them just lied to you and alt-ID'd and was never an elder to begin with.
That's right. Yeah. The person I sat closest to, that's who you mean?
Yeah, your buddy.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy. It was weird. He never let me have any of his blood. It should have been a giveaway.
Not too weird. Not too weird in retrospect, right?
Yeah, right.
You never got a chance to play Requiem, did you?
Nope.
So, Requiem started because Vampire had largely gotten itself into a corner. When the game was huge and kind of widely played in the 90s, one of the things about it that made it kind of exciting is a ticking clock. We are ticking our way down to Gehenna. And it kind of fed into the time because of the Y2K stuff.
Sure. Okay.
So it was like a fun little, 2000's coming, right? The end of the world's coming. Don't worry. Well, you should worry, actually. But OC, don't worry. It's going to be spectacular.
Right.
Well, once you get to that point, they came out with some books that let you kind of choose your own adventure for what would happen in Gehenna.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're like, well, what would we even have a game? Because Gehenna had been such a huge part of everything that now people are like, well, I guess we'll just reboot.
Sure.
That seemed to be the vibe with the Chronicles of Darkness. And what they did was they got rid of the sects, basically, and they created covenants. The covenants had ideological differences that stemmed from their theories about how vampires came to exist. And there'd be conflict between them based on that ideology or religion or whatever it would be.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Well, to do that, though, they had to get rid of basically every piece of lore that had been built over the last 12 years. Now, V5 never went that far, thank God. They only did some pretty big structural changes instead of rewriting the entire thing.
Okay.
But what V6 is doing looks like almost a complete restoration of V20 with the lore when it comes to the lore.
Okay.
So let's unpack that.
All right.
And we could start with the Beckoning.
Yeah, I'm glad it's over.
It is over. So V6 does not get rid of the Beckoning. It just seems to imply from the Alpha Slice content we have at hand that the Beckoning's done.
Yeah.
And we see that not only in the Sabbat section, because the Sabbat's back, but the Elder section, because Elders are playable again.
Right. A couple of other recent books that they've released for V5 started to kind of reintroduce Elders a little bit, but this is, it's like pull back the curtain, here are the Elders.
Yeah, I kind of got the impression they were trying to reintroduce gradually the Sabbat as well.
Sure, yeah.
Because the big problem with V5, from my point of view on the meta plot level, was if you are going to have an antagonism between the Camarilla and the Anarchs,
mm-hmm.
well, the Camarilla is pretty well known to be morally ambiguous. You can't have the Anarchs remain this pristine, innocent little baby vampire deal.
Ugh, gross. Okay, yeah.
It is gross. Yeah. Yeah, it's gross. You have to have, and this is the thing that I really don't like about the Anarchs, to be fair. Mm-hmm. I think the Anarchs are a great idea, like where they fit in the ecosystem of the World of Darkness. What their mistake is, they don't want to give them the downside negatives of what they are. They're modern vampires. If you look at the Sabbat and the Camarilla, they're both imprinted with kind of like negative things about either conservatism in the case of the Camarilla or religiosity in the case of the Sabbat.
Mm-hmm.
Modernity comes with a cost, and we all know that. There's 1,000 negative things that come with interactions with technology, the ease of access to certain types of vice. There's all kinds of stuff you could have done with the Anarchs to dirty them up.
Right.
so that there is more moral ambiguity amongst them, so that a conflict with the Camarilla is much more interesting.
Right.
But V5 didn't really do that. I mean, I can think of 2 potential Anarch villains in the meta plot, and that's not a lot.
Right. Is one of them Theo Bell?
I mean, it is to me. It is to me.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking specifically of a Smiling Jack.
Right.
And Jeanette Vorman.
Yeah, Jeanette. Uh-huh.
Okay, so, you could probably think, if I tipped you upside down and shook you by the ankles.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You could probably come up with a dozen Camarilla bad guys, quote unquote.
Sure, yeah.
And then all of Sabbat, basically, is
right.
in some ways, like, tainted or morally ambiguous or actually negative.
Right. It's the Diablerie, I think.
I think that Diablerie is probably one of the best things they do.
Oh, I'm not disputing that, but I'm just saying, like, in terms of, like, where I think they fit. I think the Diablerie is, like, the one thing that really taints the sect against the other 2, is what I mean.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Because, in the Camarilla, they would never do it.
They would never.
It's against the rules.
So
and we know that
rules.
everyone in the Camarilla...
But are they rules or are they more suggestions?
Well, I guess it depends on the generations involved.
And the prince.
And the prince.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so... the Sabbat is back.
Yeah.
V6 recognizes that the Sabbat are, the essential antagonist. They're back. Okay? There's a section for where it discusses them in the sex in the Alpha Slice. The Beckoning is over.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can play Elders and the Sabbat are back. The Giovanni are back.
Yeah. In with the Giovanni, out
Not
with the
only-
Hakata.
Yeah, the Hakata are not mentioned. There are 14 clans listed in the Alpha Slice. The Giovanni are not, or the Giovanni are in. The Hakata are not mentioned. Neither are the Cappadocians. There is something said somewhere else, I've heard in the rumor mill, that the Hakata, quote unquote, joined the Sabbat. Okay?
Well,
Now, Melinda...
Sorry, go ahead, yes.
Go ahead.
Yes, no, I was just going to say, it kind of, it's funny because in our game that we played, and I'm going to reference it a lot because it's really, like, my main point of reference for all of this. But, like, with what happened with the Hakata in our game with the Prince, it almost would make sense that they would, go towards the Sabbat. At least the way that it shook out in our game. I don't know if that's common across the board, but...
So here's what's crazy about their Hakata choice. What they did was they took these people out of the Sabbat to make the Hakata, and then they're just saying the Hakata flew back to their home planet. Retcon, and we're not really being subtle about it. Like, we're completely undoing this thing.
Well, and I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with, game developers. I mean, but have they listened to the audience? And that's the question that I'm asking with all of these V6 changes. And it feels like maybe they did.
Yeah. Isn't that shocking, though, in this day and age?
Right? Yeah.
I guess that's part of the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that means the Cappadocians, or whatever remains of them, the Harbingers of Skulls, probably not the Nagaraja, though I'm happy to see them just kind of disappear, are back in the Sabbat.
Sure.
Probably, is what that means. All right, and then the other shocking thing, well, not shocking, the other good thing that V6 is apparently doing is restoring the Salubri to healer and warrior halves.
Okay, what did
There's apparently a...
Sorry,
go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say, what did V5 do to the Salubri? I don't really...
So V5 just basically got rid of that distinction. And everyone's just a Salubri. Everyone's like kind of healing, hippie...
Right.
New age guru
Sure.
guy.
Lame.
But Well, I mean, I've learned over the last year or so, there is actually a sizable Salubri fandom.
Yeah, there really is.
Which, in the past, it's like, I always thought of the Salubri as like 7 potential characters globally.
Yes.
Like this very tiny little group of survivors. But it's like, people love them, I guess.
That's why when I was at Darkness Emergent, I was surprised to hear so much about Salubri. I feel like there were a couple walking around, and I was like, isn't this weird that there's so many?
Just for the fans of Vampire, Darkness Emergent is the By Night Studios live-action role-playing game they put on periodically in different cities.
Yes, I think they're doing a cruise or something from next year, right? Something like that. Anyway.
I've heard that, yeah.
Juicy little rumor. Pretty sure it's true. But anyway, I agree. I thought that the Salubri were supposed to be incredibly rare. When I found out that there were like a few walking around, I was like, snack time. But then I remembered I was helping Storytell, so I couldn't go have a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not call it a comeback, okay?
Okay.
Don't call it that, because there are now Legion. They are Legion, these Salubri. But in V6, they are back to their normal status quo of some of them are healers and kind of philosophers and the rest. The others are kind of warrior. I want to say warrior monks because that's how I kind of think of them in the Sabbat. But they are combat Salubri.
Okay.
So, do you know what I didn't see anything about in the Alpha Slice? Now, we don't have confirmation that these are changes, but these are things that I would have expected to see.
Okay. What else?
I didn't see anything about the Second Inquisition.
Right.
I didn't see anything about what was the other thing? Oh,
the pyramid, right?
The Shattered Pyramid. I didn't see anything about that.
Yeah. That's huge. As a Tremere player, just to jump off of the pyramid thing, I remember distinctly when I created, I don't want to call her by her name because of the Moth series that we have going. Yeah, so when I was creating the Moth, I remember distinctly going, oh, God, the traditional Tremere just sounds like a nightmare to be involved in. But then I played and I was like, wait a minute. It kind of sounds incredible as a player to like get in there and really explore it. So I'm glad that the pyramid, quote unquote.
Well, we don't know for sure.
Yeah,
we don't know for sure.
Possibly, potentially.
But when we went over the Alpha Slice and looked up the Tremere, it said the Tremere are highly structured, organized, trained, da 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 da.
Yeah.
I think it literally used hierarchical in there, which would be a weird thing to do. And obviously, I don't think they retcon this in the way of this never happened. I think that they evolved it and probably said, House Tremere won.
Right.
The Shattered Pyramid
as
Civil War.
As it ought to have won, to be quite frank with you.
Whoa, look at you.
I know, taking a stand.
You're clearly have drunk from the cup. I did, yeah. Pretty obvious.
I took the oath. But no.
Okay, so we don't see mentions of House Karna or House Goratrix, and I actually did like House Goratrix. So
yeah, House Goratrix seems
kind of sad.
Yeah, but I feel like you could probably still, because if I'm not mistaken, and correct me please if my Tremere lore is a little bit off here, because I'm still fine-tuning things, but under the pyramid, weren't the houses kind of more like secret societies? And then when the Tremere fractured, they peeled off, right? So you can still...
That's exactly right.
You can still have like Karna and Goratrix, whatever, in the pyramid. It's just not going to be quite as blatant, I suppose.
Well, House Goratrix used to be the standard Tremere among the Sabbat.
Sure.
So you could have, I imagine they'll have a thing where House Karna is, some remnant of it exists, or it secedes and tries to like survive this Carl Schreck thing.
And they go mainly Anarch, yeah?
Yeah, Anarch. Yeah. They would go. They are in the Camarilla in V5 still, sort of. I think they straddle a line in V5.
Right.
But if House Tremere's back, then you can't have them share the Ivory Tower with these guys.
Right, yeah. It's not going to fly.
So they'll Yeah, but that means that you could have 2 Anarch Tremere houses, which is kind of wild.
True. And that doesn't even go over, like, the smaller houses.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to get back to the smaller houses where, oh, well, that is actually a really good segue to the other Tremere piece. Because you just reminded me of, what was it? It was High Saturday or High Sunday.
Yeah.
The Tremere house that deals with necromancy.
Yeah, I tried to find it, and my storyteller was like, no. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it's a secret society, Melinda.
Yeah.
It's a secret society.
Yeah, I could have found
Right?
it.
And you weren't even in-house Tremere at that point, so...
Beg to differ.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, the reason I mention that is because now, in V6, the Tremere have a choice between blood sorcery or necromancy.
I desperately want that or to turn into an and. I want thaumaturgy.
Yeah, I bet you do.
And I want necromancy. I want to send flaming zombies into somebody's haven. I want to do that. Can I?
Now, spoken like every single Tremere who has ever existed, right? I mean, this sick addiction to magic and the unnatural warping of the world around us.
Yeah.
It's like a disease. It's like a drug.
It is. It is. And the more I got, the more I wanted. So that's what I'm saying. Thom plus Necro? You kidding me?
Well, that's a big deal, not just because the Tremere have never had access to it through a normal...
Like in clans.
So, for example, yeah, in clan, like a normal teaching thing. Like, Tremere have, in various versions, been able to learn necromancy.
Right.
But it's never been a standardized option that I know of.
Right.
What's exciting about that, too, is it just means necromancy's back.
Yes.
Because that was another thing that V5 got rid of. It merged necromancy, one path of necromancy, with obtenebration, and then it split up the rest of necromancy amongst rituals.
Right.
That's over.
Yes. Which is great.
Now, well, that is great because we segue from there to Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
Oblivion was what I just described, but now it is basically just obtenebration.
Right.
So the Lazambra are back, the Giovanni are back, necromancy's back, the Tremere are back.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty well. Oh, also Vicissitude is back.
Yes.
By itself.
Yeah, and Samichi are like all in again, right?
It looks like.
Yeah.
It looks like they've updated and changed and this is one of the biggest changes from previous editions is the Setites no longer have Serpentis, or the Ministry. They're keeping that.
Right.
Ministry no longer has Serpentis. Instead, they have something called Corruption, which looks literally to be the path of corruption.
Yeah.
From thaumaturgy.
Yeah. So juicy, though. It's so juicy.
And it's really overdue.
Yeah.
Because Serpentis has for a long time been very physically oriented for Setites. It's never seemed like very ideal for what the Setite play is. I mean, I guess the shape changing stuff is kind of good, but I guess it would be, what was it? Eyes of the Serpent.
Yes.
Was the old power.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be pretty cool, but I mean, the Setites literally corrupt people. That's their purpose.
Right.
Is to undermine, to change, to break the shackles of the Aeons. Now, they actually have a discipline that does that.
Right. Yeah.
Called corruption.
Didn't they have no, okay, it was only a specific bloodline that had access to it before, right? Or am I just thinking of LARP rules and getting confused?
Setites used to have at various points had thaumaturgical merits.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things we did as one of our few homebrew changes was to create a Thaum merit for, but they do have a bloodline that gives them Setite sorcery in the LARP.
Right.
But I don't think that extends to V5.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm just mapping it all out in my brain, trying to understand, make sure I'm on the right understanding of things.
So another change looks like they are getting rid of Chimerstry.
Interesting.
A lot of Chimerstry has been shifted into Obfuscate, so it's not like the powers are gone.
Right.
But a lot of the illusion stuff has been, for example, Horrid Reality is now part of Obfuscate.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is a pretty intense power.
And
The powers in V6 are pretty extreme.
Yeah, I thought I read that like Mask of 1,000 Faces cost 3 willpower.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that in 1 second, okay? Because I got to talk about the maturing disciplines.
Such a cool idea. I like it a lot.
It is really cool. It is really cool.
Yeah.
So it looks like they're getting rid of Chimerstry, and they're giving Ravnos and an option for Tzimisce to buy something called Telergy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't know anything about this power.
And I read in an update on the website today that anything that's in brackets when you're looking at both the player and the storyteller kits, if it's in brackets, it just means that the name's not 100%. They're not sure if it's going to stick or not. So if it's in brackets...
They should change that one.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, I get the impression that the purpose of this is to kind of replicate Koldun sorcery for the Tzimisce.
Mm-hmm.
And then... for the Ravnos, it has to have some kind of illusionary aspect to it,
right,
to even make sense thematically. Otherwise, just give them Obfuscate with all the Chimerstry in it.
Right. Do you want to know what clan I feel bad for?
Who's that? Who's that?
I feel kind of bad for the Ventru, because
why is that?
Because they're always the same. Like, there's never an exciting new change to the Ventru. Unless...
Oh, contraire, mon frere.
Oh, really? Do tell.
Because that's where we get to another interesting thing that's happening in V6. In addition to, obviously, disciplines, skills, attributes, etc., you now have the option to pick perks that come from different clans.
Okay.
So those clans sometimes enhance the use of a discipline that may be a common discipline. It reduces the cost, perhaps, or sometimes changes the very nature of it. For example, I think I saw on Toreador that one of their clan perks you can pick and these perks are kind of tiered along generation. So Elder or Neonate, Insia, Elder. One of the perks you can pick is increases the range of your presence.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems like a big deal.
Could be, for sure.
So even clans that aren't getting the big kind of restorations to V20 or upgrades from V5 still have something they're getting from V6.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It just feels like it's not an exciting enough change for the Ventru.
Well, don't be a common clan then. Hey?
Don't be basic.
Yeah, don't be basic. Pick a clan with a rare discipline spec, okay? So, all right. So should we get to the thing that's got everyone on the Facebook vampire page upset about?
Yes. Yes, we should.
Hunger is gone.
Gonzo. Bye-bye.
It was kind of the biggest, and I think I would agree that it was the best mechanical change V5 made.
Sure.
That sounds like you're a loaded sure. That was a very loaded sure.
Well, I'm just thinking back to... and I can't talk too much about my experience because I don't want to, give any secrets away for what's coming in some of the Moth journals. But, I mean, there were times where, I was almost constantly at 4 hunger.
Well, you are a blood-burning Tremere radical.
Yeah, that's true. I did get pretty wild, but...
Everything you had cost blood.
Yeah, that's true. And I didn't have anything to mitigate it, But...
Well, we're going back to blood points.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing.
Yeah.
And they're getting rid of hunger dice, which were unique things. So your old dice are going to work just fine.
Yep.
In fact, your hunger dice will work just fine, but they're just the same dice as anything else now.
Yeah, they're just D10s, baby.
Exactly. Now, I liked hunger. I thought it was a cool mechanic.
Yeah.
But one of the things that's kind of mystifying me about some of the backlash is it was just a resource mechanic.
Right.
It had no reality in the story of the game, in kind of like character construction, you know, building a sheet, progression.
Sure.
It didn't really have a place in like the lore or, you know, a meaningful role in the RP.
Right. But I think what they tried to, gosh, it's just a thought, but I think in V5 with, you know, having to find the correct resonance to feed on and all of that stuff, I think that they were trying to really make feeding and hunger incredibly important in V5.
I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
Because you picked your predator type.
Right. Yes.
So you had your predator type, your resonance were the kind of prey you needed for your discipline sets.
Mm-hmm.
Hunger was about your blood content. It was a very blood-heavy concept of the game that went alongside a street-level idea of how play should be.
Right. Sure. Okay.
It's 1992. You are a coterie of street vampire roughs who your most important thing you have to do is feed, and that's what the game's largely involving.
Right.
And you should probably be an anarch. It's just the vibe I got from V5.
Right. Yeah.
Well, in V6, all that's gone.
Yeah. Don't worry about it
All of that is gone.
Yeah, you don't have to find anybody with depression to feed on. You're fine.
I do that just for the principle of it.
Just for amusement, I understand.
If we're not swaying together to the cure, I don't want any of it, you know?
Right.
That blood. So that stuff's gone. Resonance is gone. Your predator type is gone. The convictions, touchstones are gone.
Yep.
And we have something kind of interesting they put in its place. Well, a couple interesting things, actually. One is, who was your sire?
Oh, I love this. Okay, yes. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, this is like a much more interesting kind of determinative question for vampires. Is it really about like whose blood makes your potence get bigger? It's like, who was your sire? How'd you grow up as a fledgling?
Right. And, you know, you can assume that some of the traits of the sire have passed on to the child, too. So when you're picking your sire, or I guess not your sire, but when you're picking, your piece of your character creation with your sire in mind, I think it's going to play into how your character is more so. Like, your sire is going to be more impactful in your character creation.
Well, right away, because you get a character sheet bonus from your pick, just like your old predator type.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, I totally agree with you. Your sire is people forget. The guy's, it's not like he's raising you till you're 18 years old. You could be under your sire for like 50 years.
Right. Or longer.
This guy telling you what to do, or longer, you know, depending on how old-fashioned the guy is.
Right. How thoroughly he wants you to learn those traditions, gosh darn it.
And it runs a gambit from a cruel sire to kind of like political sire to a nice guy sire.
To an unknown.
To an unknown, yeah.
That's an option too,
which
I like.
I believe all of those come perks.
Yeah, I'm glad that they kind of took the unknown sire into consideration when they were coming up with those. I was glad to see it.
100%.
Yeah.
The other thing they're doing that's new and interesting is we're all familiar with the beast. We're all familiar with humanity. But instead of a kind of ladder where you go up and down on your humanity, they now have what looks like a seesaw. And at one end is your beast, And then the other end is who you were
Right.
before you were a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So it's called the Beast Nature Tracker.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like being the guy you were before you were a vampire is the good option. It has its own problems. And you can fluctuate between these two things, creating a variety of negative consequences, in particular frenzy. But even on the nature side, there's things you'll freak out about.
Right. As there should be.
As there should be.
Yeah.
Right? So that is another track of new things to consider for your kind of defining character elements. You define the nature of the person you were before. What's interesting about the new beast mechanic is your beast is tied to your clan.
Right.
Now, what that means is, in a practical way is players, well, you really haven't had a situation where players should be deciding how their beast reacts to things. What's kind of interesting about this is it's like a guidepost to storytellers. This guy's a Lasombra. This is what Lasombra Frenzy can look like.
Right.
And I'm going to pull it up real quick, and I'm going to read it, actually. The Lasombra thing's a good example.
While you're pulling that up, can I ask you a goofy question that's a little bit off topic?
I dare you.
It's not really a goofy question, though. Okay, so when in humanity, right? And I wanted to ask this question when the Chronicle was on, but I was like, I don't also want to draw attention to it because my humanity was like, uh-oh, for a couple of times.
Pretty low.
Yeah, it was.
Pretty low.
But to me, with humanity, and I don't know if this is a correct argument or not, but it should have gotten harder to lose humanity as game went, right? Because at 3, it should be harder for you to find the thing that you have that moral kind of conundrum over than you had when you were at 5 humanity, right? Like at 5 humanity, oh no, don't kill 7 mortals. That's terrible. At 3 humanity, you're like, give me 12. It's time for dinner. So
that's one way to look at it.
Yeah.
But is that so here's the thing about how I think of humanity in LARP.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
You people. you like that?
Yeah, I like that.
You people?
Yeah.
Okay, you people have this ocean of options at the beginning.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And if you choose to make a character that is a psychopath, right? And you don't buy a path of enlightenment, you deserve what you get.
Yeah. I mean...
Okay? Now, here's the thing about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes, if you, as a human being, right, I do know that you get desensitized. However, as a vampire, you are not a human being.
Okay.
What your humanity is like a mask, psychological cope for you to retain some semblance of a thing that resists the beast basically making you do things you don't want to do.
Sure. Well, okay. I guess I just stomped that.
That's what your humanity is.
Yeah, I just stomped
and
that into the ground.
Well, what happens? Yeah, what happens is when you do things that test your humanity or cause logical inconsistencies in your humanity, you're smashing that mask until eventually there's nothing left.
Yeah.
It's not like what you're thinking of, and I understand this kind of this view of it is you're an insurance agent, gets embraced, or in this example goes to become a warlord in a different country.
Yeah.
And you start doing atrocities to keep your power. Well, okay, a human becomes a PSTD traumatized probably person who hurts people.
Right.
Okay, but for you, it just like removes all the binding on the beast, and then the beast just stomps all over you.
Sure.
That's why if you want to be a psychopath, you need to be on a path. It's in the name psychopath.
Look, I didn't know I was going to be a psychopath.
That's what they always say. Famous last words.
Okay, Lasombra.
Okay, hold on a second. I lost myself in that explanation instead of doing what I said I was going to do.
Sorry.
That's your fault.
It is.
Don't be so engaging.
I've wanted to ask that question for 3 years.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So here is the Lasombra. This is called, in this section, it outlines the clan beast, which is called Punisher. So for Lasombra, the beast in your blood despises failure, and it seeks to punish and humiliate those that fail you. You satiate it by punishing those who fail at the tasks assigned to them.
Oh.
Humiliating those who you consider beneath you, and turning that punishment on yourself when you are the one who made the mistake. So now it's like, that is a guidance that the game is giving the ST and the player about a direction of a frenzy response here.
Sure.
Or the direction of a beast's temptation, or anything else to do with beast. The Lasombra have a distinct beast.
Yeah, that makes sense. And because before it was like you could frenzy with fear, you could frenzy, like there were different types of frenzy, right?
Yeah, there in the LARP there is hunger, fear, and rage frenzy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so also here I have an example of the clan enhancements, little traits that clans can have.
Yeah.
These two are both for Neonate. And the first one is called Eyes of the Night. Prerequisites are Neonate or stronger, at least 1 dot in Oblivion, which is Obtenebration again. Okay?
Okay.
You can see anything that goes on within any darkness you create with your Oblivion discipline. For example, you can create a cloud of darkness and scan the area within it as if you were inside the cloud. In addition, if you are not in a well-lit area, you can view your surroundings from anywhere within short distance of you by closing your eyes and focusing for a turn. That's pretty wild.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second one is Shadow Cloak. Neonate or stronger, at least 2 dots in Oblivion. Shadows coalesce around you, giving you a bonus equal to your generation modifier to tests related to hiding or sneaking, and to test to frighten or coerce mortals.
Okay,
so that kind of used to be a power by itself.
Right.
Eyes of the Night is kind of like what in LARP the focus of Shroud of Night used to do.
Oh, okay. Sure.
But now it's for the tabletop, and now it's like for any kind of darkness you create and not being in it.
This sounds
The Shadow Cloak is a...
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, this sounds like comparable to techniques.
Yeah, except they're free.
Right.
Just for joining the clan, being part of the clan.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
So those are some changes that are happening on the top level. The nature thing, or nature versus beast. You know, for example, say you were into law enforcement.
Okay.
Before you were a vampire.
Mm-hmm.
That life that you used to have not only has a role on your sheet and manifests in a couple ways, I think, in terms of attributes and specifically skills. It's a character choice that's all in your hands for defining who you were.
Right.
Balanced against a new beast mechanic that lets your clan play a role. It makes your clan far more relevant in how it interacts with that nature.
Sure.
Which is exciting.
Yes. I like it.
We should probably also talk about the fact that your blood pool is now your health.
Right. Yes.
In not only V5, but in all previous versions, you had a health track, usually 9 health levels, so you could change that. And that changed dramatically in V5, how many health levels you had.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And then you had blood, and then you had willpower.
Yeah. Yeah, you had your little resource square.
Now you have a unified resource tracker for your blood and health called Vite.
Right.
And some people seem to not like that. I think I would withhold judgment until I see it in action.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with a couple of things in this V6 test thing. I like this track. I think it sounds interesting. I mean, obviously, with the experience that I've had so far with Vampire the Masquerade. I like things that give you the opportunity to really kind of explore and, pardon the pun, but really sink your teeth into, some of that darker stuff that you should be exploring in a game called Vampire. And I think that these tracks and the way that they're kind of combining everything all together, I think it's going to put interesting pressure on players.
Well, it will be interesting because one of the kind of let me give you the devil's advocate thing against it.
Mm-hmm.
If I have 9 health levels and I have, let's say, 12 blood points.
Okay.
And I get hit. You hit me in the face. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you would never do that. I know you would never do that in real life, but let's say you hit my vampire in the face.
Yep, got you.
Okay, so I think there is a benefit to the strategic choice whether I heal using blood or want to use disciplines. Whereas in this situation, let's say I had 11 or 12 blood, you hit me, I lose 3 blood.
Right.
Or 3 Vite, right? And that, I assume that the conceptual thematic of that is you punched me in the face and I auto heal. Right? That's like, I don't have a choice. I auto heal the damage.
Right.
Okay. Well, that does streamline a lot of stuff. It's less boxes to check.
Mm-hmm.
However, I mean, it's not just that I took 3 damage. I also lost 3 blood now.
Right.
And if I use a blood to activate a potence power to attack you, am I weakening myself by spending that blood? It sounds like it.
Right. Well, but
It's almost like I'm doing damage to myself.
Well, sure, yeah. But I mean, if you had, and again, I can only go back to my Tremere experience, but when, you use really any of your thaumaturgy, you were risking a lot of stuff because you were constantly spending blood on things. And, I felt like that was quite risky as well.
Well, yeah, and I think that the Tremere addiction to magic is well documented and widely agreed to. It's bringing that life to the rest of us.
Right. Yeah. You really have to think about, what you're going to use, when you're going to use it, and why you're going to use it. We're going to
play this playtest, and we're going to find out.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm so excited.
That brings us to a very cool, interesting new thing that they're doing in V6, which is the maturing disciplines.
Yes.
It's exciting, right?
It's so exciting. Yes.
Okay, so basically what happens now, and we're going to use Obfuscate as an example. You buy points in your discipline track, okay? Every time you buy a point, you pick a discipline from your list of options in the discipline track.
Okay.
So for Obfuscate, right now, they've made Unseen Presence. I don't remember what they call it, but it's basically Unseen Presence, a level 1 dot Obfuscate.
Okay.
Now, when you spend 1 dot and you pick Unseen Presence, it has a lot of restrictions on Unseen Presence. You must do it from cover.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot move while this power is active. And I think there's a fair amount of things that break it. But as you buy more Obfuscate going forward, other powers such as Mask of 1,000 Faces, maybe some of the Chimerstry that's been moved in there, that power you bought at the beginning gets better.
Right.
So now in the old game, when I bought that power, it's as good as it's going to get.
Mm-hmm.
When I bought it.
Yep.
Whatever it did.
Yep.
In this game, it starts as you can't move or do this other stuff, and it grows. It becomes you can move. It goes to you don't need cover. It grows to now Vanish, which is in most previous versions, was a separate level of Obfuscate that altered Unseen Presence.
Right.
And then it goes to Cloak of the Gathering, which used to be the level 5 Obfuscate power.
Yeah.
Is now basically you bought it level 1. and just improved without XP. Doesn't cost XP to improve these. When you buy other powers with XP in that same discipline track, it improves the older power.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, because really, think about it. If, let's just, again, Tremere reference, but like Force Bolt, I've been using Force Bolt for 2 centuries, and you mean to tell me it still only does 1 damage?
As good as it gets when you learned it.
Pardon moi? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now that's not the case. I mean, I'm sure you're looking forward to them releasing Blood Sorcery, where you can see how this maturing thing works there.
Yeah.
But even in some of the basic powers, Potence, Fortitude, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Because now, I mean, that was always the balance that V5 had to kind of strike against. In the old things, your basic physical disciplines, Polaritude, which is Potence, Celerity, and Fortitude, were basically just measuring extra things, either extra damage or damage reduction or rounds, or, well, I guess in the tabletop it was dice that you could use.
Mm-hmm.
And every level would just improve those numbers. Now, and V5 said, instead of that, we're going to give powers to those levels that are interactive and kind of you activate. Now it says both. We're doing both.
Yeah. I like it. I really do. I think it's going to be really cool at the table.
It certainly is going to be, it can be high powered, I bet you.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's why I think everything, I think that's why they've combined all of those resources into that one track. Because you can be ridiculously powerful, but it has to come at a great cost, right?
Well, it definitely when it comes to that blood.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to stomp through the city, and that's not that fun to play. There should be, it should be tough to decide to use those big powers.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. All right. So V5 also introduced, well, I don't know if it introduced, but it made bigger the role of social combat in Vampire. V6 is keeping social combat, but streamlining and unifying how it works with physical combat.
Right.
And then we have one of the other controversial things, not the quickening. There is something called the quickening. That means that when you roll 10s in previous iterations, you'd re-roll the 10 to do extra successes, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you roll those 10s, there's something called the quickening, and you can bank some of these successes for a future roll.
Right.
And in those future rolls, you can add dice, you could do a variety of different things. What's controversial is something called drama tokens.
Yes.
Now, who would have thought vampire and drama?
I never would have guessed.
Yeah, impossible to have predicted.
Yeah.
But drama tokens are... Oh, geez, do I even explain this? Drama tokens are... Okay, I could see the critique for drama tokens. What they basically are if you have been a storyteller or if you've played enough games, you know that the storyteller will do things for dramatic effect,
No.
buff a monster
I don't believe
if they're
it.
too weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have a rope break on a bridge. You know, there's a number of things a storyteller does in every game.
Okay.
For some reason, V6 is trying to create a mechanic for the storyteller to do this.
Yeah.
And I can almost guarantee that this is not going to be a thing that we are going to use. All right.
Well, yeah,
we are not going to use
sure.
the drama thing because I kind of know what I'm doing. And this is one of those things that V5 kind of did that V6 would be well advised not to do, which is tell people how to play the game.
Right. Sure. Now, I got a counter argument for you.
Okay.
Okay, so I've been playing in a gaming system called Cypher, or it's the name of the game anyway. I'm not sure what the system exactly is called. But in that game, you have what are called GM intrusions and player intrusions. So you can be playing along, and you roll a certain number on your d20, and that gives the storyteller an opportunity to force something to happen in game. My character in that game is a necromancer, just for example, right? Necromancy is not really good news in this world. So what happened was I rolled the right number for the GM intrusion, and he forced me to have to do necromantic magic in front of, my party, because they didn't know that I was a necromancer yet. And that led to some pretty cool stuff. It was revealed sooner than me as a player would have liked, but it did happen at a dramatically appropriate time. It did kind of help move some of the interconnected player stories forward versus just the overall meta plot of the game that we're playing.
What are the rules with this mechanic though? Do you earn those?
Well, yeah. So you don't earn them exactly. Like let's just keep it simple. If you roll a 20, for example, that's the DM intrusion. If you roll a 19, that's the player intrusion, for example. So I roll a 20, and the GM is like, you're going to have to do some necromagic in front of everybody. So, that's what I'm sitting here contending with as a player. When I get the opportunity to do it, it happens, and then there's dramatic fallout from that scene. So it's not really earned, but it is rolled. Does that?
Well, that kind of works similar to this, because it's, we talked about when you roll 20s, you do the quickening, which is use those tokens later.
Right.
In more difficult rolls to help yourself.
Right.
In this, I think one of the ways you largely earn drama is when the player rolls a 1.
Right. Yes.
So now it's the negative things. They're tokens that the storyteller can cash in later.
Yes.
Here's a couple things that drama can be spent on.
Mm-hmm.
Introducing narrative twists. So instantly alter a physical environment. For example, it starts raining, or cutting power to a building, or basically creating a complication environmentally. Another thing it could do is empower NPCs. You can use it to buff a vampire antagonist, grant the boss an extra action, heal one of your guys, or secure a villain's cinematic escape from a scene. Okay?
Yep.
Another thing you could do is increase the chances of you breaking the Masquerade, or bring in reinforcements. However, I would say that I don't need drama points to do any of those things.
Sure. Yeah, well, and
as the forever DM, I kind of understand the pacing of my table.
Sure.
What is needed at any moment. And what if everybody rolls amazingly and I don't get any drama tokens? Do we even have a game?
Well, but
at that point,
that doesn't happen where you have a whole table over multiple sessions where everybody rolls well. That never happens. You may have one player who's hot for a game, and they may get, a couple of advantages here and there based on the system, but more than likely you're going to be just rolling in those drama tokens, because if you got a player like me at the table, my dice are cursed.
I doubt it. I don't believe that for a second. And it's not just like not get a success, it's roll 1.
Yes.
So you are talking about like rolling a 1, and you can have an hour where nobody does that, or somebody does that once.
I mean, really, you could have really long games, or not long games, but you could have very long periods of time without a dice roll.
That's true too.
Yeah.
So where does the storyteller stack up enough currency to actually do a story? Now, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater though. I'm willing to try this.
Right.
I just suspect it's not going to work out the way that they think it should.
Well, it may not work at your table, but it could work at somebody else's table. And
that definitely might not work at my table because I'm a psychopath.
You've been tested. But I think that I don't know. I'd like all rules, right? It comes down to the table and what you want to use at your table versus what you don't want to use. But yeah, I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I'm interested by it. I'm interested in flirting with it a little bit to see what happens. I think there is some potential, but I think it also puts a little bit more onus on the storytellers to always have some kind of trick up their sleeves that they can just drop at a moment's notice with these drama tokens.
Well, that's where we get to the second place I could see this running into trouble.
Okay.
Because right now it's like, okay, let's say me, you, some guy named Sam, and a guy named Brian are playing.
Okay. Hate Sam and Brian. They're so boring.
And now, before it's like, oh, like it's raining. Oh, Alex threw this crazy puzzle our way. Da-da-da-da-da.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm spending a drama token against this thing you're doing, Melinda.
Okay.
I'm spending a drama token against to heal the guy you're fighting, Melinda.
Okay.
I'm spending a drama token to make your cell phone break here, Melinda. Now we have a tracking mechanism for the way a ST can fuck you. And I could tell you from experience that will create some hurt feelings and probably some conspiratorial thinking amongst some players.
Right.
Now that there's like a chip, a formal declaration,
right,
like an interaction where it's like, in the thing, I would just say, oh yeah, this guy's like healed himself, but why would you know that?
Right. Good argument. Yeah.
Or, like this thing happened, but I don't need to single you out or tell you like, oh, when you call, it doesn't work. Well, if nobody else tries it, they don't know that their phone doesn't work or does work or whatever.
Sure.
It seems like it puts a spotlight on negative situations with the players.
Sure.
And they're especially in Vampire. Though this is true of all RPGs, but especially in Vampire.
Okay.
There's a type of player who will nurture or can nurture grievances and believe they're being targeted. Especially if you stack up the things.
Right.
So formally as this is doing.
Right. Well, I think that, gosh, I don't know. I think that, I know, because I won't say I've felt those feelings before, but I've definitely seen situations where it's been like, that felt very much on purpose. That felt pointed.
Yeah.
There's definitely been situations.
That's the other
like
thing.
That. Yeah.
These drama things are on purpose, like unmistakably.
Yes. Yeah.
So whereas without them, I can be like, oh, I'm running a scene. Here's a negative thing. But I don't necessarily intend it to be negative.
Mm-hmm.
Like the players, because their ambitions or desires that aren't known to me might think that this outcome is negative. Now it's like my role is to interject in the things you're doing with this drama token.
Right.
And ding it. Like, oh, this thing you're trying fails, or give me a roll because I'm using this thing. The rope bridge is breaking.
Okay.
Now, before a storyteller could do that, the rope bridge could break when the party's trying to cross it. But there's a reason why he's doing it.
Right.
Unless he's a bad DM.
Right.
If he's a bad DM, then it's like something has to happen. No, if he's a good DM, it's like, okay, well, this is meant to lead to this looks really simple, but it's actually supposed to be more complicated. And this is the first part where you learn that this simple approach isn't going to work.
Right.
Or someone in your party has screwed you guys. Here's the other thing with this drama token, okay? How are you supposed to mask people in the party screwing each other?
Well, I mean, that traditionally speaking, I don't know that really happened at the tabletop, did it?
Happens in most of the vampire games I've played at some point.
Right.
And it isn't like they're trying to screw the party out of like the objective.
Right.
But there are times where, like, let's say there's an artifact and you want it and I want it.
Mm-hmm.
In my experience, plenty of players will say, all right, well, I'm going to do some shady vampire shit now because that's the appeal of the setting.
Right.
I'm gonna hide it by doing this.
Right.
XYZ.
Mm-hmm. But that's
the storyteller will.
But I think that that's what this is saying. I think that this would apply well to tables who don't experience a lot of that kind of thing in the culture of their table, right? Because
I would be shocked. I'd be shocked at such tables.
But there must be tables where it's all coterie, all the time. We're BFFs, we're skipping down the middle of the street, but we're also vampires. And that's just something that, is a side point to the story that we're trying to tell here. But with these drama tokens, it's like it's going to force the storyteller to apply a little bit of pressure to some of those happy moments where we're all skipping down the road together thinking we're best friends. I think it might be an opportunity. Well, it
sounds like those guys wouldn't want drama tokens anyway, though, right? Because they're best friends.
Right. But, sometimes you need to have somebody give you a scenario before you know if you are going to like playing in that kind of a situation. If you ask me, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but I just think that.
Well, we're all going to find out, right? Because we're gonna play test this game,
right?
Eventually.
Yeah.
But. I think we got to keep an eye out for it. I think it could be a source of potential criticism.
Sure.
For V6. Obviously, we're just kind of like spitting theories right now, but once we play it, we'll know better.
Yeah.
Okay, what is our next thing? What is the next earthquake in the vampire space?
What were some of the things that I looked at? Difficulty subtracts dice instead of requiring successes.
That's actually really cool because, dice pools can sprawl.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So the idea of like saying, okay, so you need a 10 on this roll, instead of that saying, all right, you have 2 fewer dice, difficulty 2 fewer dice from your pool.
Yeah. I think that's great. And what happens
if with skills shifted to 3, that's being part of how you make your dice pool.
Yep.
It is a much more like contained character interaction.
Right. Yeah, and I think that has, really great potential for like NPC interactions and trying to lie to the NPC prince. It shouldn't be easy. It should be hard, and it should be risky, and it should be all of those things. And I feel like that's what a lot of these mechanics are trying to do. They're trying to bring back that feeling of things being risky and being difficult and a high probability of failure.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I like that. I don't want to see it all the time. Yeah.
Another thing to mention is V6 is getting rid of the kind of Instagram photo shoot aesthetic of the V5 books. It is going back to the old art.
Yeah.
Stylized, I think black and white largely. And even more exciting than that, okay? They're going to have a core book with all of the necessary mechanics and clans, okay? And they've already planned 14 clan books. Those amazing little thin books that give you all the details about the clan you want to play.
Oh, man, you mean where I found all of those really cool Tremere rituals that you wouldn't let me have? Those books?
Yeah, that very one. That very one.
Oh, I love those books.
That book from 1995 that couldn't make it into our 2024 LARP.
Come on, it would have been so fun.
I'll tell you what would have been fun is if that book had come out in the V5 thing outlining the houses of the Tremere.
Sure. Okay, yeah.
I would have bought 4 of those books because there were like 4 houses that could have been interest to our game.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have more information about Karna, for example. House Karna.
I wanted more information about Goratrix.
Sure, yeah.
Do you understand how much research I had to do to find out about like how anything worked in Mexico City? It was pretty crazy.
I'm sure it was.
The rabbit hole I went down on that thing.
Yeah, all of that stuff is there should be more. There's just give me more.
Oh, there's going to be a ton more. We just have 7 clans, 7 discipline sets, and the basic bare bones of this game.
Right.
I can't even imagine what this thing's going to look like when they bring everything out and start doing clan books.
Yeah.
I mean, clan books are really the kind of fun part of the old game.
Yeah. I when I discovered clan books, because I was blissfully unaware of them in my baby status. But yeah, when I discovered them, I was like, what's this? And now I have the Setite book, the Follower of Set books, the Tremere book, obviously. But yeah, no, and it really kind of, I think when I got a hold of that Tremere book was when I really kind of got the opportunity to take the Moth and like really kind of twist her up a bit more than what she was originally. Anyway.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So
yeah, I mean, it introduces a complexity to the system.
Yeah.
Of the clan. For example, you let's take a clan like the Nosferatu.
Yeah.
The Nosferatu don't have huge divisions like Goratrix, Karna, etc.
Right.
But they have like kind of like cultural differences. So for example, everyone thinks of the Nosferatu as the information gatherer guy. Well, there's also the Cleopatra. You know, someone who was once beautiful and made kind of deformed by the embrace, who like has their own weird, often cruel and monstrous like style of being a Nosferatu.
Oh, you just gave me a great idea for a Nosferatu.
A Cleopatra?
No, just what she would do in her pastime.
What would she do in her pastime? You gotta tell us.
Oh, well, I mean, she's certainly going to be hunting for those very pretty influencers. And she's certainly gonna...
So that she can have like a girl squad?
Well, no, I wasn't gonna go girl squad, but I was gonna say like, phew, you know, cut your nose off or you die. Which one are you gonna choose?
I love it. That's very Seven.
It is.
It
is, but
very cool.
What a super fun idea.
That is very fun.
Am I gonna play a Nosferatu?
Oh my goodness. In a Sabbat game, you might as well.
I mean, what's happening?
Wasn't that your plan originally? You were like, I want to be a ugly monster. You're going to be a Nosferatu, ugly monster cat lady.
What?
Or maybe it was Malkavian.
No, my cat lady was Bruja, actually. And she had a brick in her purse.
Well, that's pretty cool. And also you could throw those cats very fast.
That's very true, yeah. And they were vicious little
beasts. Like a mobile weapon.
Yeah, they were all ghouled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of blood. Keep in mind how much blood that is with this new Vite mechanic.
So much blood.
Anyway, there's a lot of stuff they've changed.
Yeah. And I love that we're getting so much of it, you know, to be able to really sit down and be informed at the table with what the intention is for V6. And, you know, like I feel like I can take the information that we have now, and I feel like I could put together a decent tabletop game.
I think you definitely can. And what I can do with it is take this information and engage in a dozen flame wars on Facebook and Reddit.
Oh, your favorite.
My favorite, is arguing online about my nerd culture stuff.
Right. Yeah.
My nerd slop. Okay.
Right.
There is one thing we skipped, and I want to get back to it real quick.
Yep.
Just because there's so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the reasons we know the Sabbat's back is the Alpha Slice lists the sets.
Yes.
Okay. Now here's what's weird. Let's get to a weird thing real quick before we
I like it weird.
Finish up. Wow. Put that on our tombstone, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So you can play the Camarilla, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You can play the Anarchs, of course. That's just like V5.
Sure.
Now you can play as the Sabbat again.
Yep.
Which is going back to V20.
Okay.
And then it has the Independence.
Yeah.
Or the Unbound.
Yeah, what's that?
So that's pretty weird here, because here's the thing. If they're just a Tarkus, if we're just calling people a Tarkus, whatever.
Okay.
Why wouldn't that just be Independence?
Right.
Now, something is going on here. In Vampire the Masquerade 2014 LARP edition.
Yes.
They had an independent alliance in it.
Yeah, I was going there. I was getting there. Okay, sorry.
The Followers of Set and the Giovanni.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Followers of Set are now members of the Ministry. Do we have a potential alliance
Ooh.
amongst that make up something called the Independents.
Interesting.
The write-up for the Unbound sounds like a Tarkus, but you just call those people a Tarkus. They never had a title before other than a Tarkus.
Okay.
There's no reason to have Independence or the Unbound. Okay? Those are two words that theoretically would cover the same thing if it was just generically, I'm not part of a sect.
Right.
Also, why listed amongst the sects?
I mean, I guess. I feel like I'm punching a little bit above my current game knowledge here on this one, but independent. So, and I mean, I only saw the Independence Alliance for like two very brief moments, but I didn't really care for it. So that's why I was like, ooh, what's the Unbound? What does that mean? So is it just you have no alliances to anyone? Like you have no common...
Possibly.
Yeah.
I have no idea. The way it makes it sound is yes, okay?
Right.
But what's the difference between that and Independence?
Well, with like, for example, in the Independent Alliance, you still had like your little group of other independent people who thought the same as you. Unbound.
Well, but they're not calling this the Independent Alliance. They're just calling it Independence.
Independence, right. So, I mean, but let's just say for the argument of this conversation, it's one and the same, right?
Okay.
So with the Unbound, you're a lone wolf, perhaps.
Why even list you, though? Why list you as a name called the Unbound, right? If you're just a rando who doesn't want to be in the Camarilla.
Well, maybe it's more for antagonists, for NPCs.
Maybe, and this is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Is it somehow related to blood cults? That's one of the things I would love for them to keep from V5 is the concept of these blood cults.
The blood cults were pretty stinking cool.
They were very cool.
Yeah. And super
I mean,
fun to
they've
explore.
always existed.
Yeah.
You know, there's always been Bahari or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it made it much more a part of the day to, or night to night, I guess, of
Right.
vampire life.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really cool thing to explore for sure in game. Yeah.
So that is the stuff that I'm looking at.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything you want to talk about before we wrap it up?
I think we kind of covered it with a lot of the stuff that we talked about earlier. And you know, the fact that the pyramid is intact. That makes me so happy.
I mean, possibly.
Probably.
We do not know.
But
odds are good.
Listen, I believe in my boy Carl. I believe he came through and got those rebels back in line.
Do you want to tell people the distance you traveled from the beginning where you were like the most Karna?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a Lilin Karna.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the game, ending up as
I was gonna have an all-female court based on Bahari stuff. Yeah, there was a lot.
Ending up as a Tremere hardline, House Tremere hardliner.
Right. Yeah. I basically gave my finger
Quite
to
a
everybody.
journey.
Yeah, it was wild. I love the story. It's so good. If I say so myself.
If you say so yourself.
Right.
All right, Melinda. Well, thanks for joining me and talking to me about this.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to be doing this a lot more often.
I hope so. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And it'll help YouTube not think we're a dangerous threat to
the sensitivities
people's,
of people? I don't know.
Yeah, their souls.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
That was basically the YouTube message was you're endangering the souls of our viewers.
Yeah,
so
yeah. We didn't mean to.
We'll try to chill. Yeah, we didn't mean to. We just were like, we'll do vampire stories. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And YouTube is like, well, it's gone too far.
Yeah, you're a manipulator. Well,
you're a manipulator. Your content is unsettling.
Yeah. Good. That means we've achieved our goal.
Yeah, you tell me that 4 years ago, I've been like, that's rad.
Right.
But
yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
Now in my old dotage, I'm like, ugh.
Right.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
But I actually like talking to you about this stuff. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Had a great time.
Yeah, we don't often talk mechanics.
No, we should. That's probably the secret to our friendship.
Probably.
Is how little we have to talk about mechanics.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us on this broadcast to discuss V6. You'll be hearing a lot more from us later.